Okay, I so enjoying the stream. MGTOW Cowboy, what's going on, my friend?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can, man. How are you doing?
Wow. I'm okay. Thank you for asking. It's a pleasure to be on your stream.
Were you driving truck today?
No. Unfortunately, however you want to see it, I enjoy my weekends.
Yes.
I can work extra days, but well, because I'm a bachelor and I have no wife and no kids, I choose to enjoy my weekends.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm telling you. So what do you think about these women here? Tell me what you think about this.
Yeah, no, you always, and again, thank you for having me on your stream. You bring up a lot of good topics. There's so much overlap. Yeah, I don't know what to say. These women are crazy. I think they're half delusional, half prideful. They think that they're gonna mercenarily marry right before they're 50, and they're gonna land that prince billionaire, and it's all gonna work out, and white picket fence in the suburbs. No, that's not what's going to happen. Nine out of 10 of these women, they're going to end up, as we say, the proverbial crazy cat lady, with boxed wine.
I agree 100%. Tell me okay, I have this, you may have heard it, but I like this term. It's called copium. So a lot of women, they cope for things. So they'll say, oh yeah, I choose to be single, when the men that they would want to be with aren't choosing them. That's called cope. That whole concept, that whole infrastructure, I call it copium. Tell me what you think about the term copium and the fact that there's so much copium for women in their 20s. What do you think?
Well, it sounds to me that the word copium comes from the word cope, and also probably the word opium. And when I think of opium, I think of like the opiate family, the drug,
Yeah.
heroin. Okay. So no, I think that again, that's totally real. I do think that men could also engage in copium in a way. I actually think that everything is a cope. You can become an overeater. You can cope with drinking. Some people cope with getting into fitness. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know exactly how to answer that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of copium in both the red pill community and, of course, these delusional women.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would just hold the fact that men may have cope and copium, but they have to suffer the consequences from their cope constantly. See, women don't feel the consequences of their cope until later on in life when they smash into the wall. So a guy can cope all he wants as long as he can deal with the constant consequences of his copium. Women will go through all of their 20s copium, and then just look up one day, and then all of a sudden there are consequences because Father Time limited their options. What do you think about that?
Okay, when you say that, I could not agree more. I think in a way the formula is very simple. For good or for bad, women are front loaded all of their sexual market value.
I agree.
Right? When a girl's young, she's 18, she comes on the market, she's the hottest ticket in town, right? She can get into any party, she can get onto any yacht. All the men want her.
I agree.
For men, it's the exact opposite. You got to build yourself up. Typically, in your 20s and your 30s, if you make good decisions, you can start cruising into your 40s, and you could be that guy in the expensive sports car, driving around with a hot 22-year-old.
I agree.
Yeah, it's unfair. Really, if you think about it, nature is cruel to both men and women. Women are given all of their beauty when they're young and dumb, and it slowly fizzles out. But before they wise up, like you said, they waste their 20s, and then they live the rest of their life in this delusional state. And of course, as their situation deteriorates, what it seems to me is they increasingly try to dodge blame as they mature and realize, wow, it's actually my fault. They don't take any responsibility, and they just start.
They don't try to dodge blame, my friend. Blame. They do dodge blame. But the problem is the wall is undefeated, and the consequences are there. You can dodge it all you want. You're going to have to face facts sooner or later. You know what I'm saying? And tell me what you think about I don't know if you can see the screen. I shared the screen again. But tell me what you think about, because you're in your 20s, right?
No, actually, I remember the last stream you had mentioned that you thought that I was in my 20s. No, I'm 39. I turned 40 in 5 months.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just to warn you, I'm 42. It goes all downhill when you hit 40. No, I'm just playing.
I saw from your last stream, you also mentioned that you were previously married. Is that correct?
Yes, I was. I was married from 2011.
That I did not know.
Say again?
That I did not know. I do remember ascertaining that you're a black man. You're from the
Yes, I am.
You have an advanced degree.
I do.
I think you said you work at the DMV and you live in the Beltway.
Yeah, all that. So I was married from 2011. No, we were together for 4 years, married for 5. No, so we were married for 4 years, married for 5. Together for 1 year, married for 4. And I'm one of the 20% where I divorced my ex-wife because she was a princess and she couldn't stop spending money, and I was out of my masculine frame. I was one of those guys, dude, where I was one of those happy wife, happy life kind of guys. Don't do that, guys. Don't do it. Don't do it. I've been there, and I'm telling you, man, I had to pay the price. My divorce, it was simple, but it cost me money because she had she signed. I served her with the papers, but I said, hey, I was making so much more money than her, and we were getting divorced in Nevada, which is pretty much like California. And I said, yo, I don't want to get lawyers involved because I don't want to pay you alimony. She said, well, just pay off my debt, and I'll sign the papers. I said, what are you talking about? She had taken a bunch, because we were long distance the last year and a half of our marriage, and she took out a bunch of debt on credit cards that I didn't know about.
Right. I mean, again, it's the same old story. I was lucky enough. I sort of dodged that bullet. I never got married, but part of the reason why I consider myself a MGTOW is I saw what happened to my father. In fact, I detailed all this a year ago when I called in on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Have you ever heard of Jesse Lee Peterson?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, no.
He's hilarious.
Detailing the whole thing. Yeah, my father, he got married to my mother, my biological mother, and I don't know. She was not. Of course, I love my mom, right? Who doesn't love their mom? But she's a woman, like all women, and she, there was a lot of problems there. They got divorced. Of course, whatever we want to call it. Legally, it's called family court. My father lost the entire familial estate. He lost a house, which was paid off, and multi-unit investment properties.
Did your mom leave him?
I'm sorry?
Did your mom leave him?
No, actually, in this case, similar to you, my father initiated divorce against her. She was batshit crazy. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can curse on your stream.
Oh yeah. Keep it to
batshit crazy.
A minimum, but just go ahead.
Because and of course once they started having children, my father was the only one who worked. So my father's working 60 hours a week. He's the one saving and all this, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The court, the courts are. Call it whatever you want. Child support court, family court, child custody court. Legally, it's called family court. Family court is unbelievably biased against the male.
Yeah. Non-legally, it's called men. You don't want to be their court because you're going to get screwed.
Yeah, right. And then some years later, what would be like current year -5, I found myself in court. I essentially was framed by my stepmother. She initiated a physical altercation with me while I was still living in her home. I was 3 or 4 days away from moving out. I'd already signed my lease on my current apartment. Anyway, she hit me. She put her hands on me, and I put my hands on her back. And I can tell any man listening to this stream right now, I know this sounds like a pussy move, but it's true. If a woman hits you, I advise that you do not hit her back. Especially if you're living in like her home. There's something called primary aggressor laws, and that is to say, this all gets back to like communism and okay. Well, let me just tell you, when a man and a woman get into any sort of physical altercation and they're living together, legally, the man.
I know about that whole doctrine, how the man is assumed to be the aggressor under that. There's a certain doctrine where all those laws were written under, where the man is assumed to be the aggressor almost all the time.
Right, correct. Yeah, so this all gets back to like certain laws that have come into place. Basically, I'm sorry to say it, but like the communists, if you want to call them that, call them whatever you want. Communists, progressives, postmodernists, well, they go by many names, Democrats. They've come in and right under our noses, and they've changed all these laws. If there's any sort of altercation between a man and a woman and you are living with them, they could be a roommate. You don't have to be married. You as the man are considered the primary aggressor. And that is to say that they consider it legally, you are more likely to be the one who initiated the aggression. And so, which is a really nice way for women to just say, I can just hit you and you can't hit me back because you're the one who's going to be in court.
And also, MgTow Cowboy, I always say this. We are 4 or 5 generations into men being taught, don't put your hands on women. Maybe 6 generations, because for the past 50 years, right? And the problem is there is a limit in an argument with a woman for a man. With another man, there isn't, because look, if I just respect you enough, we're going to start throwing down. But women have no limit, so they keep going lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. That's why I always say, don't share your inner thoughts and feelings with your woman. Women can only hurt you. They can't beat you physically, so when they don't get what they want, they're going to hurt you emotionally, and they're going to use the weapons that you give them. Women will hurt you with the stuff that you told her in confidence. Don't open up to your girl, guys. Don't do it, because she will use it against you in a fight. She will, because she has no other weapons. She can't fight you physically. And on my channel, look, I'm black. I can say this: the majority of black mothers are effing scumbags, dude. About 75%. So, like, what your mom sounds like is par for the course for a lot of black women in the United States. And I think that we need to talk about how bad a lot of American mothers are. There's a lot of scumbags out there, man, and they have kids. And it's funny because, women have trauma, MgTow Cowboy. What about the trauma? Yeah, what about it? Get it fixed before you have children. Don't take it out on your kids.
Well, remember, according to books like, what is that called? I'm sorry, I can't remember. Warren Farrell. Warren Farrell. Do you remember that gentleman? Oh no. Okay. Well, he's a very prominent men's rights advocate at this point. He actually used to be a member of NOW, the National Organization of Women. He was on their.
Oh yeah, that guy. And then he changed sides. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's right. Yeah, no, he spoke about it. He's good at these like one-liners. He's got this good one-liner. He says, "What is it? Women's strength is their perception of weakness. Men's weakness is their perception of strength." You know, women can be just as brutal, just as cheating, conniving as any.
Women
man.
have almost or more of the propensity for evil than men.
Yes, actually. Well, yes. I'm sorry to say that as well. As you know, I've studied this what I call this sort of gender dynamic now for years, and I'm university set. You know, I don't have a master's degree; I have a bachelor's, but I know how to read and write. Yes, unfortunately, from all the research I've done, it does seem that women have a penchant for all these negative behaviors. You know, we like to think that as they say, women are what is it? Women are sugar and spice and all things nice. No, that's not true. Once you learn about, I tell every man, learn about like evolutionary psychology. The real truth is that women throughout our evolutionary history, they essentially evolved to be extremely selfish. And the basic idea is that like they're smaller, they're more like diminutive. The men are bigger and more physical. We can just physically just take what we want and do what we want. Women cannot, and so literally evolution has driven them to use their mind to essentially lie and cheat their way through life, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And that's it's going to be one of the best parts about the next 10, 15 years, man. The illusion that women are morally superior based upon their gender is going to be dispelled. And I can't wait, because you see all these teachers, female teachers, freaking doing disgusting stuff to their young male students. You know, that one lady ran that one company, and she scammed investors out of billions, out of hundreds of millions of dollars. Who is that lady? It was some blood thing.
Sir.
Yeah. Or you see all these female politicians like
didn't she just go to prison?
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's not the man in the position of power. It's the position of power itself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just hoping that we can get rid of that visceral reaction where I can't believe a woman did that. That's why, guys, on my channel, I have a playlist called Awful Women and Their Foolishness. Please go to that playlist and listen and watch it, because, in fact, I got to do one on, you know who Rita Cromwell is? MGTOW Cowboy?
Oh, I'm sorry.
She's the woman that committed the biggest municipality fraud in the history of the United States. She was the comptroller of a small city in Illinois or Ohio, and she had this world-class horse breeding ranch. And she was stealing from the city's fund to fund her horse breeding. Everyone thought that,
what is this woman's name again?
Rita Cromwell. No, Crundwell. Crundwell.
Oh,
Crundwell.
Oh no, you know what? I'm sorry, I never heard of her. I did actually meet a criminal woman once, though. This was a couple years ago. I met the president of, the former president of the township of Cicero. Cicero is a suburb of Chicago. Mm-hmm. Do you remember Betty Lauren Maltese? Oh no, it was a national story at the time because, frankly, she was a Republican, and Cicero used to be like the stomping grounds for Al Capone.
I see it.
Yeah,
she stole $12 million from the city.
Betty Lauren Maltese.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I met her in person. I was doing food delivery at the time for a ubiquitous supermarket chain here in Chicago, and they started like a home delivery service. It was just another day at work. All of a sudden, I get this name. It was her. It was totally her. She went. I can't remember. She went to a state or federal penitentiary. She embezzled. Yeah, what was it? $10-12 million. $12
million, bro.
She was going on trips. She was buying horses. All this craziness.
Rita Cromwell stole $54 million, bro.
Oh wow, yeah, that's more than.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna do like an extended one on her. I might do a live stream on it because it's one of my favorite stories. I can't believe she did that. I'm hoping in my lifetime, my bro, that we can get rid of that visceral reaction, and especially in my community, I'm gonna say it: the face of violence and theft and child abuse in the black community is our women, not our men. And anything that happens...
I'm sorry. It's true. When you do the research, what you find is... my understanding basically is that... I know this sounds crazy because it's the actual men who oftentimes do the violence. But you have to look beyond that. You have to look at where the violence comes from. Where the... how can I put it? Where the impetus is... I'm sorry, I don't know if that's the right word. Basically the origin. Women, so now I'm basically stealing the idea of what's his name, Otto Weiniger, the Jewish German, or because he was Austrian, Jewish Austrian, whatever, German speaking philosopher. He has this idea that actually almost all social ills, almost all social problems stem from women, or that is to say, it's basically women's fault.
Yeah.
but the thing is, but the thing is, you can't say that in polite company because it really bothers the sensibilities of women. You see.
Did you see that story about Travis Rudolph, the wide receiver? And he was with that woman, and she was bothering him about why he would marry her, and so she found
some thugs to like shoot up his house.
Her brother and like the 3 other guys, and he got his AR, sprayed 50 rounds at those mofos, and deleted one of them. And then she was on the stand trying to say that she didn't mean for it to happen. Get out of here, man! I'm telling you.